Hi everyone. We're going to focus on jumping behavior today. So jumping is very natural for all dogs. They love to jump for lots of different reasons. When humans have problems with the jumping, it's usually because we don't want them jumping on other people, on our furniture, on surfaces where they shouldn't be. And jumping usually can be solved by substituting another behavior in its place. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about greeting behaviors. So when somebody comes to your door, they knock on your dog runs to the door and starts to bark and gets all excited. The first thing they want to do is jump up on that person to say hi. That's very natural. So what we're going to teach instead is doorbell rings, they get really excited, they can run to their spot and sit and wait for something even more exciting like a treat or a reward, or they can run to the person and substitute another behavior like the sit. If they are sitting, they get that reward. Okay, but jumping gets them nothing. And in fact, sometimes jumping will get them a correction. In dog training is filled with rewards and corrections. Corrections can be lots of different things. The corrections that we're going to use are, at least that I use in my training, are vocal. I sometimes will say, ah. That's a verbal correction. Sometimes my corrections are physical. Now, when I say physical, I don't mean hitting or swatting or threatening, with a newspaper, none of that. A physical correction is usually done through the collar, and many times the dog corrects himself. So I can show you how that is done. I think anytime you're training, whether it's humans or animals, reward is the way we want to go. We want to teach them that if they do something right, good things happen. But it's really frustrating to learn something if you're doing it wrong and nobody ever says, no, that's not right. Okay, so I think correction, if it's timed appropriately and done right, is just as important as rewards. So for today, first thing we're going to do, I'm going to hook my dog up onto a long line. This line, I picked it up at Walmart. Found it in the camping department years and years ago. I tend to save all the clasps off my leashes. When they get old and kind of ratty, I cut the clasps off and I use them for long lines. I like these lines because I can make this any length that I want. Sometimes people will be tempted to use a 6-foot leash. I think that's fine, but this gives me a little bit more distance and a little bit more of an ability to control my dog from a distance. If he is running toward the door, barking, and I don't want that to happen, all I have to do is step on this line or simply pick it up and I have complete control of my dog. Any new dog in my house or dog that's not trained very well, I will put one of these lines on them and I'll let him drag it around the house as long as I'm watching that he doesn't get tangled in anything around the house. This is a lifesaver for me. I can even pick this line up and tie it to my waist. So he's with me 100% of the time. If I'm doing dishes or running back and forth doing laundry or going in and out, whatever it is, my dog is with me. And really, if he goes to make a mistake in any way, whether it's house training or jumping or whatever it is, I'm right there to correct him. So I do like the use of lines. I think it just offers more control. So I'm going to put this on Leo. Leo, come here. And I'm going to put my training collar on. I've got my martingale here. Hook it onto my training collar. And Leo will drag this line around the house. So, here you go, Lee. So now he can drag it around the house, and as soon as I need to get control of him, all I have to do is step on the line, pick it up, and I have that control again. So that's really nice. Now, couple of things. If Leo here is really excited, I'm coming home from work and I walk in the door and he's really, really excited to see me, one of the things that he might tend to do is jump up onto me. Okay? If he goes to do that, before his paws hit me, I can offer another command. I can say, Leo, sit, and reward him for that sit. In fact, at my front door over here, when I come in, I have a jar of treats sitting on a bookcase that I have near the front door. If I come in the door and he sits, what do you think he gets? He gets a treat. I'm going to give it a try and see if I can get him to jump on me. Well, I don't know if I will or not. Leo, wait. Now, he did put paws up on me, so I'm actually going to try it one more time, and I'm going to get that sit command out just a little bit sooner. Hey, Leo, sit! So this time, I did not get a jump at all. I just got the barking and kind of the crazy behavior around the door. So again, you can do that with yourself, making sure that you're prepared every time you come in the door to grab that treat and get that sit command out. I know you've been working really hard on the sit command, so it's natural to go into this next behavior and ask for that at distracting times. The other thing that you can do too is if strangers come to your door, you can say to them, would you like to give my dog a treat? But he can only have the treat if he is sitting. He cannot have the treat if he's standing and walking around and jumping up and acting silly, okay? Only time my dog gets a treat is when he's sitting down. So, in essence, anybody who comes to your door could actually help you be training your dog, which is kind of nice. So, that is one way to handle those exciting comings and goings. Another thing that you should know, if you ignore your dog when you come home, if you don't say, hey, how you doing? Oh, I missed you. What a baby. Oh, you're such a good boy. You know, if you don't fall all over them and give them those rough and tumble hugs and whatnot, a lot of times their approach to you when you come home will be lower key. So you come in the house, you don't look at them, you don't talk to them. You simply go to the back door, go to wherever you need to go to let them outdoors, bring them back in, check your mail, answer your, telephone messages, and then after 10 or 15 minutes after you've been home and you're a little bit more settled, then focus on the dog. That's when you call them over to you and you give them their loves and all of their pets and things. But if you keep your comings and goings very non-emotional, their activity level and emotional level will drop as well. So that's another tip to try. Non-emotional greetings, actually physically training at the door with the sit that we have using it kind of as your training distraction, getting friends or family to help you, telling them the only time that they can give a treat is if the dog is seated. All of those things might help. Another thing that you should know, I am very, very careful when I ask somebody else to give my dog a treat. Leo takes treats really, really roughly. And I would hate for a child to ever, be handing him a little treat and have him snap at that child's hand just to get the treat. He's not meaning to bite the child. He's trying to get the treat. But for some reason, he's one of those, I call them sharky dogs, that have a lot of tooth when they go to grab things. So when I'm training this, if you have any fears with your dog taking something very roughly or possibly, catching some skin as they're taking a treat, you can have the person simply drop the treat if the dog sits. They don't have to offer it exactly to the dog. So keep that in mind as well. I don't know if you guys will have trouble with that or not. Now, some of you might want your dog to jump on you. I like it. I'm kind of crazy that way, but you know what? Sometimes when I come home from work and my dog is really excited to see me, I want them to jump on me. And I think that's okay, as long as I ask them to and invite them to. And the way that you can do that is by putting your jumping on command. When you come home and they're excited, you can actually give it a command. Now, I don't know if Leo will do it, but one of the things that you can do is, if he is right here, Leo, he's in the front room checking to see if anybody's walking by. As long as he is here, let's see if I can tilt this down a little bit more so that you can see. I don't know if you can. Okay. As long as he is here, what I'm going to do is, if he goes to jump up on me, I'm going to offer the command and the hand signal, "Do you love me?" And this is my signal. So, Leo, hi, Mama. I'm going to get him all excited. Hi, Mama. Hi. Leo, do you love me? And he won't do it. He doesn't love me at this time. But if I go like this and ask him if he loves me, you can see that my body is leaning backward. Okay? When you lean backward, you allow the dog to take up space. My hands are out. This is an invitation to jump up. If I change my body language, I stand up straight, bring my arms in, and lean forward. This is saying, don't jump on me. So if your dog goes, if you want him to jump up, do you love me? Your body is back. It's almost kind of natural. Do you love me? And if they're jumping up and you want them to stay off, you can offer the command, sit, but I'd like you to stand up straight. Sit. And you see I'm leaning forward. Leo automatically sat. Or what you can do is, as they're jumping toward you, you can teach the off command. Off means take your paws off of whatever you're touching. So if he were to start jumping on me, I could just step on this line. And as he jumps up, he will self-correct. He will hit the end of his collar and it'll stop that forward, movement up. So I can just stand on this line. As he jumps up, Leo, off. And I can do that. I can offer a little help as he's jumping on somebody else. I can take my line and I can use the word off. If he runs over and he goes to jump up on somebody, I can give a quick snap and release, off. And As he's jumping, he'll feel that little tug, hear the command. As soon as the feet hit the floor, what a good dog. Now you have to be really careful with your praise, because if you praise too much at this point, they're going to jump back up again because they get excited. So quiet praise. Be genuine. I think that helps a lot. Now off can also be used on surfaces. And I want to try to, again, turn this so that you can kind of see my couch over there. And I've got a Chewy here. This is beef cheeks. And it's kind of an alternative to rawhide. I don't give this stuff very often, so it's really high value. They really love this. In fact, sometimes it's really hard for me to get this away from them. But I'm going to take this here, I'm going to put it on my couch, and when Leo goes to investigate or grab this, I'm going to have my line, and I'm going to use the word off. So let's see if we can get him to do it. I want to see if this is a good placement here. You guys see that? Yes. Okay. Okay. I've just released him with the OK command. Okay. Off. Good. Did you hear the tone of my voice? As soon as his nose went to it, off. And praise afterward. Okay, Lee, go ahead. I'm going to kind of turn around and maybe I can catch him in the back of the camera. Okay. He's looking at me for direction right now. Go ahead. He knows. So I might not catch him again today, which means one good correction means a lot. So I'm actually, good job. What a good boy. I'm going to grab this and bring it back over here. So be emphatic with your corrections, and you won't have to do so many of them. It's kind of you kind of have to learn what's appropriate for your dog. So jumping. I just want to recap some of the things that we talked about. Dogs jump to greet. You can substitute a behavior like sit. You can train that behavior by having them offer the sit command for jumping on you. You can have them offer that, have other people ask for that command as well. You can set your dogs up using the long line so that you can stand on the line to prevent jumping. Jumping also goes with jumping on surfaces, like Leo on the couch, or dogs that are countertop surfers or want to grab something off of a low-lying table. As soon as that nose or paw goes up onto that table, off. The line is good for that. We talked about corrections. It's kind of a silly, but you know, I'm a teacher, and even my kids know to stop when they hear So it's kind of a universal correction, but you can use that correction, and you can use that physical correction with your line or leash, which is simply just a tug and release. Make your rewards low-key and genuine, and make sure that your greetings when you come home are non-emotional. That doesn't mean you don't give your dog all of the love and attention he needs. It means that you delay it until after you've come into the house. I hope I covered everything. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask, and I'll try to help you out the best that I can. Have a good week.